Smoking Cigars with Howlin' Blind on me. 4, 3, 2. How's everybody doing? Smoking Cigars with Howlin' Blind. Howlin' Blind, Buddy Slim, your 60-minute Jelly Belly toe jam man, here to learn y'all some blues. Yes, folks, I'm back. I haven't been on since YouTube, that is, or making these videos since about June of this year, back when I talked about JFK and the United States notes, and that he had the Treasury Department print at no interest the money that would have saved this country, because there was no interest or no debt attached to the money. It was based on the amount of silver that the Treasury had. And he printed $400 billion worth in 1962, which would have been more than enough to run the country at the time and shut down the Federal Reserve Bank and the IRS, and we would be totally 100% debt-free. Now, to prove it's me, you probably think, well, I ain't seen him in a while. I got my Mountain Dew, and my old standby cigar, White Monterey Excalibur 1066 Dark Knight. Now, I used to work in a cigar store. I do not work in that cigar store anymore. I haven't since October. And long story short, better job, better money, and that's all I'll say. Let me show you what I smoked just earlier today. This is December the 11th, Sunday of 2010. La Gloria Cubana Serie N. Those are the new Nicaraguan cigars, and from La Gloria Cubana, and they're good, you know. And normally I like Nicaraguan cigars. It's good. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna have to smoke one more just to make sure. But it's not, in my opinion, it's not as good as the La Gloria Cubana cigars that were made in Dominican Republic in Miami. Of course, Ernesto Perez Carrillo now has got a brand new line of cigars out called the EPCs that his son, Ernesto Jr., and his daughter are making, the EPCs. Now, those are great. And I think I've smoked one on a video recently. And I've been needing to make a video again soon, and I don't know why, I just never did it. And I was watching some of my old videos, and I watched the one about change from December the 12th of 2008, or it might have been, no, December, let's see, 13th, December 13th of 2008, about the change coming. And a lot of that has happened, sadly to say. A lot of that has come to pass. And there's some new things that I want to bring up and just get your opinion on. That's all. Tell you some things that I've observed, and I just want to get your opinion. So please leave comments. I do not block comments. Now, one of the predictions I made would be there would be more people out of work, and if you had a job, you'd be making less money. And in my case, I'm making more money. But I mean, you know, and I thank God for the fact that I am in a better position, better job, making better money. But there's a lot of people who are not. Unemployment is still rising, despite the fact that what the government is saying about unemployment and jobless claims and things like that. And recently there was a vote in Congress trying to decide whether or not they could extend the unemployment benefits for those who are out of work and have been out of work for more than 9 months. The reason that they didn't want to do it was they didn't want to add to the debt. Now, what I have to say to that is bullshit. Our government loves to add to the national debt. It's a national debt that will never, ever, ever, ever go away unless, and I will get to the solution to the problem in a matter of minutes here on Smoking Cigars with Hal and Blind. Hal and Blind returns. The situation, and the reason we know the government does not mind adding money to the debt is the $700 billion bailout plus that Barack Obama passed right after he took office almost 2 years ago. And the big $800 billion bailout that George Bush Jr. used moments before he left office almost 2 years ago in his big bailout. Now, where did they get the money? If you're new to this, I'll explain where all that money comes from. There's a factory in this country that produces and manufactures money. And loaned to this government at interest. It's called the Federal Reserve Bank. The payback method, of course, is through the collection agency for the Federal Reserve Bank, known as the IRS. Your income taxes pay back the loan. Now here's the thing. Our money that goes back to the Federal Reserve through the IRS at interest is not for any of these government programs. The money is just blindly borrowed from the Federal Reserve and spent like there was no tomorrow on whatever they want. The money we send back does not go directly to this or directly to that. It goes directly to the IRS through the Federal Reserve Bank. Now, the thing of it is, and thank you, YouTube, for now allowing us to go 15 minutes. I appreciate that. I'm a little over 8 minutes right now. The Federal Reserve Bank prints the money based on the amount of treasury notes that the government prints and hands over to the Federal Reserve in return for cash, is then loaned to our, it's almost like a pawn shop in a way. We will pawn these treasury notes, you'll give us some cash, and we have to pay that money back to the Federal Reserve with interest. That interest rate, of course, changes every day, but I'm getting way off track. You want to solve the problem of unemployment? You want to get people back to work? Do you want to end the national debt? Do you want to stop the insanity? Do you want this country to prosper again? You want to get the homeless people into real homes and into real jobs, and you want to stop having to scratch your head and say, I don't know, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. There's an easy solution to that. The government needs to shut down the Federal Reserve Bank, close the IRS, and start printing money. Call it United States notes, call it American money, whatever you want to call it, based on the amount of gold and silver that this country holds. And let's hope we still have all are gold. Now, I want to bring up a point here, and this is probably going to be a two-parter, about the latest scam going on right now. And I'm going to put the link down in the descriptions, and I want you to watch this fellow's video. This fellow talks about how you can make yourself a fortune by doing nothing. He talks in this video about how, you know, cycles repeat. You have to write down the numbers between 1 through 7, and then 280, and then the number 9. And he gives you all that in the video. But he talks about how cycles repeat, and we're getting ready to go through another cycle, like we did during the Great Depression. Now he talks about how the dollar, the value of the dollar is falling. Okay, so why would you want a bunch of worthless $1 bills? But he talks about how you can make a bunch of money, but not with hard work, not with the sweat of your brow, but by knowing what to do and when to do it. And for those of us who don't know what to do and when to do it, we will lose our money. He calls it a great transfer of wealth from us, the people who don't have a whole lot, to him and his cohorts. Basically, it's theft, greed, and theft. He talks about how there were a lot of millionaires made during the Depression. And there were. And then he grins and he says, and I'm excited about that, or I'm happy because of that. Okay, how can you sleep at night if you know that the way you got all your money wasn't from hard work, but actually taking the last bit of money or means of survival from your fellow man? Homes being taken away from people, jobs being taken away from people. Then the government wants to deny them a little unemployment so they can afford to go out and buy, you know, bread and bologna and mayonnaise, or bread and bologna and Miracle Whip, whichever you prefer. But that's what's going on, and that's what this fellow talks about, and it just fucking pisses me off. Now, I'm at 13 minutes. I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, we'll conclude, because I want to drive this point home. Okay, be right back.